Ah, the youth of today. Such strapping good young lads with an entire prosperous future in front of them. A teenager killed pensioner in pub fight just minutes after being freed over stabbing. Wonderful. But before we get started, something that will never get old for me. Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Then you could be entitled to compensation. But what does get old is insurance companies' habit of lowballing you when you're at your most vulnerable and burying you under tons and tons of paperwork until you're too overwhelmed to do anything about it. I know how hard it is to be given the runaround while trying to get through a case and having to deal with work, family, and life in general on top of it all. It's far too many plates to spin alone, but luckily Morgan & Morgan is on hand to ease that burden if you become their client. All they need you to do is answer a few easy questions to get the ball rolling. And from there, you'll get your free case evaluation and your lawyers will keep you posted through your smartphone. Morgan & Morgan operates in all 50 US states, so even if you're one of the 5 people who lives in Wyoming, you can join one of over 3 million people for whom they have recovered over $20 billion. And if, God forbid, Morgan & Morgan does not win your case, the fee is completely free. But you can be sure that Morgan & Morgan has the means to fight for the best result possible, since they will put a team of lawyers, investigators and paralegals on your case. And your concerns won't go unanswered because 24/7 support is provided by almost 4,000 support staff. That's almost a whole legion. So, if you've been seriously injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan by going to forthepeople.com/count Dankula or by clicking the link down in the description to get started on a claim. The 15-year-old punched the pensioner outside a pub, a 15-year-old pub, Jesus, where he was a regular mere minutes after stabbing a shopkeeper. A 15-year-old boy killed a pensioner in Glasgow mere minutes after being released by police for a separate assault, a court held. Hold on. I thought he was just out of the court. He stabbed a shopkeeper. The police came and took his name and that and then just let him go. I thought he was freed from a court. Not police custody because just moments ago he stabbed someone. I need to read this. The teenager, who cannot be named due to his age, pleaded guilty to the culpable homicide of 70-year-old Patrick Colquhoun at the High Court in Glasgow on Tuesday. On April 12th this year, the 15-year-old had punched Colquhoun after alleging the pensioner was pissing on my father's car, causing him to fall and suffer a fatal injury. But earlier that same day, the teenager had also attacked a 65-year-old shopkeeper, Nadine Mohammed, with a blade and also admitted to this assault in court. How was he freed from that? Prosecutor Angela Gray KC told the court that concerns had been raised about the boy's behaviour back in 2023. The attack in Mohammed occurred around 4 p.m. when the teenager and a friend demanded the shopkeeper and his son come outside. Gray said the boy removed the knife from the waistband of his trousers and made slashing motions towards Mohammed, striking him on the arm. So he just tried to slash someone. The 65-year-old shopkeeper was hospitalised and required stitches for his wound. Mental. The teenager fled before informing his father, who later told police about his son's involvement in an incident. The 15-year-old was arrested over the knife attack, but was then let go at 11:15 p.m. with an undertaking to attend Glasgow Sheriff Court on April the 30th. So he was taken into the police station, obviously had a little bit of an interview, they filed the charges against him, but then he was let out. Now, maybe that isn't related to his age, but the way it usually works, from experience, is you get taken in, and sometimes the police, see if it's a little silly charge. Like for me when I was younger, it was fighting. It was always fighting. I was always down at Coatbridge Police Station because I got into a fight. Right, it was always fighting. It was either in Coatbridge Main Street or Airdrie Main Street. Right, and what they usually do is there genuinely isn't enough time in the day for the courts to house everyone that has been arrested in Scotland for fighting. So, see, because it's a little silly thing, especially if it's classed as a stand-up fight. A stand-up fight is where basically you and another guy go, let's go, bro, and the other guy says, let's go, and you both agree to fight. That's classed as a stand-up fight, and that's seen as not a very serious charge. So what usually happened with me is you get kept in the cells overnight uh, to basically get filed the next morning just so that you could sober up and calm down, or you got taken to the hospital and then taken to the cells. I was never taken to the hospital. Right, but you get taken to the cells, you get let to sober up. The police will come in and go, "If you calm down a little bit now, you wake up rough as hell, usually with a bit of a black eye, a little bit bloodied," and then you're like, "Yeah, I'm fine." They give you a little letter with your date that you're to appear in court, and that's it. You're just let go. Not a serious charge. However, if you walk up to someone and say, "Let's go, bro," and the guy says, "No, I don't want to fight you," and you hit them anyway, that's classed as assault. That's not a stand-up fight. That's assault, and basically you might get kept in for that. And then what happens is you'll usually get kept in to be taken to court the very next day, which is why if you get arrested on a Friday night, you get something called a weekender. You're kept in until the Monday morning because obviously the courts aren't open at the weekend. You get put in front of a judge and the judge decides if you're going to get remanded in prison or if you get released. Because in Britain we don't have a cash bail system. It's just totally at the judge's discretion. And if it's not that serious, you get let out, or if the judge wants to scare the shit out of you a little bit, he can decide to remand you in prison until your next court date, which happened to me. And that... Ooh, you think you're a little hard nut until you go to fucking Pullman, Iona 1. But anyway, but the fact is, this was obviously a very serious offence. This kid, like, attacked the guy with a knife, right? This wasn't a little silly thing. He attacked a guy with a knife. He tried to slash a guy on the arm. So I am genuinely astounded that he wasn't kept in to go to court and the police just let him out of the police station with his little letter. Like, I'm genuinely, absolutely shocked that that's what happened. It's amazing. Basically, I never slashed anyone with a knife. I made a fucking meme with my pug, and I was kept in. I was kept in prison for court. Right, so that's what blows my mind. I made a meme, right, and I get kept in. I don't get bail. I get kept in until my court date. But this guy tried to slash someone on the arm and was just released from the police station, which is incredible. That blows my mind. Following his release, the teenager was collected by his mother, but jumped out of her car after becoming angry, most likely because his mother was giving him a right talking to because he was walking about the streets carrying a knife and he tried to slash an old man. But anyway, around 11:42 p.m, Calhoun left his local bar, the Queen's Park Cafe, to visit a nearby takeaway. CCTV footage captured the boy accusing the 70-year-old of urinating on a car rented by the teenager's father. A witness then saw the boy punch the 70-year-old in the head, the court heard. The pensioner fell backwards, striking his head on the road. Members of the public rushed to help, with one person performing chest compressions as the boy's father moved the car away. Calhoun suffered a brain bleed, a skull fracture, and bruising from the attack, but the court was told that his alcohol consumption may have triggered a pre-existing brain condition, potentially contributing to his death. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm sorry, that doesn't matter. Don't punch old men in the head. Like, don't. You can kill someone with a single punch. I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen when I was a wee boy, actually. Does anybody remember the printing house in Coatbridge? I'm not going to say names, but it happened there. I just thought the guy got knocked out. And then the next day, word got around, that guy died, by the way. And I was like, no, he didn't. And then it was in the paper, and we went, holy shit, that guy died. I thought he just got knocked out. That was a horrible thing to see. But anyway, the teenager was later traced via CCTV, where police found him hiding in a doorway. Upon his arrest, he told officers, "I slapped him. He was pissing on my father's car. I shouted at him, but he would not listen." The boy pleaded guilty to culpable homicide and assault through his KC, John Scullion. He is currently detained at a secure unit because of his age. The judge, Lord Harrower, has deferred sentencing until October the 18th in Edinburgh, with the teenager ordered to remain in the secure unit until then. This is a genuinely troubled young man who's obviously not got any guidance. The way it's worded, it sounds like his mother and father aren't together. Maybe the father's not in his life enough, which is, devastating for a child, because then you have them running about the streets trying to slash old men and then killing old men by punching them in the head. And all that. And again, it's a 70-year-old man. And I've had it where I've had old men square up to me, when I was young and I was a little bit lippy. And I just backed away because I was like, I'm not fucking fighting an old man. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, mate, dodging dodging punches because, let's face it, they're slow, and I'm just laughing because I'm not fucking fighting an old man. What makes you think it's okay to like punch some old man and everything? And as soon as you throw a punch, especially at a 70-year-old, you're most likely going to jail because that guy's probably going to die. As what happened here. So just basically in the space of a few days, this guy tried to slash one old man and then killed another. Right, and it's terrible, it's devastating, right? And it's just, the kid's obviously been raised with absolutely no guidance whatsoever. He's been allowed to hang about with a bad crowd. The parents have done absolutely nothing about it. And that's because I got in with a bad crowd when I was younger, and that's what happened. And then I grew up a little bit and realised what a little cringe fanny that I was. Right, but I was fortunate where I didn't do it, I just got any fights, like standard stuff. I've had my head kicked in. Deservedly so. You know, when you're my age and you look back on it, you're like, I deserved that. I completely deserved that hide. And I go, yeah. There's been a few times that my dad's leathered me as well, and I've looked back on it and went, I was, I was asking for that. And everyone, right, so like, yeah, it's fine, right? But this is bad. I never done anything that this fucking kid did. I never carried, because that's stupid, because that was back in the day where if you got caught carrying, 6-month sentence automatically. And also if you use a knife, you're a pussy. Yeah, I'm sorry, if you're walking about the streets with a blade, you're a pussy. You're a complete fucking pussy. But yeah, this is just absolutely tragic, absolutely terrible. And basically, see if proper protocol was followed, this kid had committed a serious crime. He tried to slash someone in the arm and he wasn't released from the police station. That old man would still be alive. Again, just another example of the police not doing their jobs.